It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're still on a mission. And our mission is to inspire. Our mission really is to empower, and our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the person, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have inside of you. It takes resources to really make it a reality. So I'm excited today because we got Ari Squires in the building. And she's not new to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. She was one of the original folks years ago that said, you know what, I'll come on. I don't know if we even had listeners back then. But she showed up and she played full out, and I'm really, really thankful. So first, let me say, what's going on, Arby? How are you? I keep saying Arby.
Hey.
Ivy Squires, how are we?
I am fabulous, 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 fabulous. I can't complain. We talked about that, right? We can't complain. I have not one complaint. Think life is good. Things are good. I'm in a happy place. I'm a happy entrepreneur, and I'm just happy to be here with you tonight.
Well, we're going to get into building a high-value brand because that's what they want to know right away. But I'm just curious, why do you still keep doing this? I mean, I'm glad it's for me, but why do you keep giving back? I mean, every time I turn around, I was up in Aruba, and I forgot the young lady's name that was there, and they were like talking about you and how you give so much and how you help so much. I'm like, she don't have to do all that. I mean, she could be spending time at the pool right now. She could be spending time doing other things. Just before we get going, why do you still give back to entrepreneurs? Some that can't write you a check and many that can. Why do you keep doing this when you don't have to do these type of podcasts?
Yeah, that's a good question because I just want to see us win. I know the struggles. I've been an entrepreneur for over probably 28 years. And I know the struggles, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, the stress, the overwhelm, all of that. And I really want to see us, especially African American, Black Africans, I want to see us win in this game of entrepreneurship, not just women, but the Black culture as a whole. And I know that we need guidance. We need each other. We need support, right? And I want to be part of that change that I wish to see in this world. And so that's why I'm always showing up for stuff like this. And I love invitations like this. So keep them coming because I'm here to share what I know.
First of all, I thank you for being here. It certainly is an honor. Now, before I get into it, people were peeping over your shoulder. Like, I mean, okay, you were full screen, and they were looking like they are now. They said, whoa, she has brand equity back there. Did she purposely position that behind her? And Shay, before you get into building a high-value brand, can you ask her to define what is, in her own words, what is brand equity for those folks that are watching and listening now?
Yeah, I love brand equity because it's something that we don't talk about enough in the marketplace. But brand equity is the value that your brand is perceived in this marketplace, right? How valuable it is to other people, how they perceive it as high, low, mid, you know what I'm saying? And so the higher the equity that you have, the more you could charge, the premium prices you can have, the more opportunities that you have, the more leads you will receive, the more referrals that you receive. So I'm always one of my top priorities is to help my clients build that equity in their brand so that they can get paid more for what they do in this world. So I love brand equity. I can talk about brand equity all day long.
Well, thanks so much for getting that definition. Now, entrepreneurs have heard the word brand maybe since the first day they Google become a business owner, right? And brand means different things to different people. So if you can you give us your view of the world on what is branding these days for where we are in this disposition in time, number one. And number two, how do you become a high value brand? So it's a two-part question. And if you can go ahead and take it here.
Yeah, so a brand is basically the message that you're putting out. You talked about my background, right? If you look at my background, it looks good, it's classy, it's luxurious. I got the Louis Vuitton, I got the designer, I got myself back here. It says luxury, it says money. And that's what I want my brand to say. That's the message I want to put out into the world. And that's what a brand is. It's the message. It's not just the symbol and the logos as most of us know, but it's the message. It's what people see and hear by looking at what you're doing and really listening to what you're saying. And how to become a high value brand. I have a whole method in my book, Become a High Value Brand, as you can see, a whole method. But there's various ways. Number one is building your brand equity, creating more value, leveraging the relationships that you have in your Rolodex. People don't realize that this right here really is an ATM machine, our cell phones, and we can literally build 7-figure, 8-figure brands from this thing right here, not just social media. So there's tons of ways to build a high value brand, but I particularly like to focus on offline marketing and offline positioning, which is what I've titled and in the process of trademarking is silent money. Silent money is that offline money, that relationship building, going behind the scenes and creating relationships like you do so well and creating this value in our brand again so we can create more opportunities for ourselves.
Silent money. I
Silent
like
money.
that. That just sounds
I
good.
love me some
It
silent
almost makes
money.
me want to take my credit card out and swipe or send you a cash app payment right now.
Right.
Like I'm sure she still takes that silent money. That was good. I mean, seriously, that was really good. I really like that
Yeah.
one. So why do entrepreneurs struggle with this whole thing? Because I believe we wake up in the morning, at least I do, and I say, man, I want to have the best looking person I can possibly be on the planet, but yet it doesn't come across that way. And so why do we struggle as entrepreneurs? And there's two type of entrepreneurs I want you to talk to. First, talk to the seasoned folks. These are folks that are out there that generating revenue. They might even have employees that work for them. And yet the company's brand itself kind of struggles. Does that make sense? So that's one group. And then there's the other group of folks, and I know she can handle this, ladies and gentlemen. They're the dualpreneurs, right? They make good money. They work a full-time job, and God bless every single one of you. Nothing wrong with being a 9-to-5 millionaire. Do your thing. Don't feel guilty about having a full-time job. Be a 9-to-5 millionaire. You can do that. But I know they
Yeah.
work all day on their business. I mean, at work, and then they work all night on their business. So it's unfair to put them both together. And I know you can handle it. So talk to this person first,
Absolutely.
and then come back and talk to that entrepreneur that's like I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm looking around, watching these things like now and so forth.
Yeah, well, with my seasoned entrepreneurs, as I was sharing before, I work with a lot of like already brands that are 7-figure already, and they've reached that, but they're not delegating. They're not delegating appropriately and they're mismanaging their money. And I know that doesn't have much to do with brand, but it still does, right? It's like the financials are off. I had a client come in for a VIP mastery day, brand mastery day here recently, and all I did was go through her financials. And I'm so glad that she let me behind the scenes to look at her bank account. But the way she's allocating her funds and reinvesting her money into her business is off. And I think that's something that no matter where you are, but mainly my seasoned entrepreneurs, we have to get a hold of our money. We have to learn how to master our money. That's a big thing. And then delegating properly. That's a huge thing. And then for my dualpreneurs, I love them as well because I'm not mad at that 2-week check because that's again funding your company. So I think for them, they struggle with following what everybody else is doing, trying to blend in, following all the trends. And some trends we do want to follow, but we have to know how to put our own individual personal brand or our own individual personal stamp on what we're putting out there as our brand message. And I think a lot of dualpreneurs struggle with that, kind of following the trends. I like to step out and go against the grain. And that was one of the methods in my book about becoming a high value brand is going against the grain. Whatever you see everybody else doing in the market, do the complete opposite.
Do the complete opposite. Two-part question here, and I'm so glad you're here because what you're doing by having the brand have high value, it makes it so much easier for the folks like us that are on the sales side because the brand speaks before we come in, and I know y'all might think, oh, it's not that important. No, it's that important. Two-part question. Part one is, for the person saying, you know what, you mentioned delegate, and if I don't do it, if I delegate it, they never do it the way I want them to get it done. That could be one of their mindsets, or it's hard for me to release. So for someone like her, Shay, I know I'm not at her VIP mastery right now, and I know I might not be there, but can she give us a window into the soul of what she's thinking now when she says, here's what she tells individuals they need to do in order to release that delegation and feel comfortable being able to do that because, of fear, whatever the reason. It's a two-part question. Why do people hold back delegating? And what do you share with them to release that delegation? Because it doesn't matter what level you're on, it has to be delegated. And I love how you said that. Now, I struggle myself. I have my hand, ladies and gentlemen, I have both hands raised. Okay. I have both hands raised. My team's probably like, he better be raising his hands up real high because he still wants to.
It's tough though because it is true. It's very
Yeah.
true. No one will do it exactly the way you will. However, I don't want them to, right? I don't want them to. I want them to do it their way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want them to do it their way. Their way. That's why I'm extremely particular, and I advise you to be extremely particular about who you hire. You have to hire people. Take your time. Number one. And oh, there's so much on this. There's so much. So number one, take your time in the hiring process. My screen changed, right? Take your
No, no,
time in
no,
the
no. If
hiring.
you want to change this, it's fine. They're looking at me right now while you adjust your screen. So they're looking at
Okay.
me, which is just fine, by the way. So you can go ahead and
Okay.
adjust the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is real time. But don't worry, she's gonna talk about how to delegate. Don't worry. When you're ready, just let me know. We're gonna bring you right on. Let you go
I'm
ahead and
ready.
update it. Okay.
I'm ready. Yeah, so taking your time and then your training process. Like a lot of times we're bringing people on and we're getting mad at them. We're bringing people on our team and we get mad at them when we need to really look at ourselves and look at what did we not do properly in onboarding this new team member, this new staff member, even if it's just a graphic artist, wherever you're delegating, we have to take the time to really put in that training. So they have to go through a training process, like a real job. Like you got to have your stuff together. And that's how people stay longer when you have a business that's really operating like a business. And I forgot the other one I was going to say. It slipped my mind. What was the other part of the question? It didn't probably come back to me. It
Yeah,
was
the
a
other
two
part
part.
was what do you share with folks so they can go ahead and release it? So you're sharing why
Oh
it's
yeah.
important, but
Oh yeah.
Shay Brown, I like the part of training. And team, don't be throwing nothing at me back there. No, I'm joking. They're not here, but I know they're throwing something at the screen like training. We've been talking about we need to get this stuff done. He's like, figure it out. I probably lost millions of dollars because I didn't listen to what she said. I'm being as honest as I can. I'm being probably lost millions of dollars because I didn't slow down to speed up. Okay, but anyway, this is not about me. I'm not gonna have a confession this evening, so I'll turn it back over to you.
But that happens a lot. And I think we have to, how do we release that? What I would call release the chain. We have to give people room to mess up, right? Because they're human, they're gonna mess up. We have to kind of, for me, that helps with me and my business is we got to show a little grace, right? We got to show a little grace. I think the mistake I used to make when I first started delegating and bringing on team members, that I would expect perfection. I would expect them to do things that I would, but then I realized that I wasn't perfect and that I made a lot of mistakes and mishaps along my journey, right? And so I have to understand that at the end of the day, since I'm the leader, I'm the CEO, that it's still my responsibility to add continuous training to my team and allow grace.
Allow grace. Really well said. I know you believe the world may know who you are, and they probably do, and they've already Googled you. They're looking below, they're reading the bio, they're seeing that you're bad to the bone, and there's someone else that's kind of listening in their ear. They might be cooking right now, might be driving down the road, might be multitasking. Like, Shay, I'm not looking below the video right now, and I'm not reading it. Can she please take a moment, Shay, and just kind of share her, you would probably call it your origin story. Like, was she always like this? Was there a time where things were rattled? Has she been through some fire? And so, the question, has the hero had a setback or that you've had along the journey that you had to then apply these same principles that got you to where you are now? They want to know, and I want to know as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We all have. Like I mentioned, I've been an entrepreneur for over 28 years, so I've tried many things and I've learned so many things along the way, and I've had so many lessons. Ooh, I've had so many lessons. The setbacks has been mismanagement of money. It's like we want to make this money, we want it to come in, and then we don't know how to allocate it. We don't know how to reinvest it. And so those were some of the biggest failures I made. And hiring the wrong people, putting too much responsibility on people, like having a virtual assistant or a personal assistant doing finances, handling onboarding, giving one person all of the duties, just putting too much on one person versus just hiring multiple gifted, talented individuals. I'd rather have a team of 30 than two. You get what I'm saying? Because I have 30 great minds instead of just two that I'm hoping can handle what 30 people can do. So I've lost money, I've lost businesses, I've lost homes, I've lost, so much, almost my mind to fulfill this dream of wanting to be a part of the change that I wish to see. I've lost a lot, but I always say it's never a loss. It's always a lesson. I always look at what can I do differently? What did I learn? And then how can I teach other people so they can kind of go around that and not have to make that same mistake. But yeah, it's been a journey from my dance school. I owned and operated a dance and performing arts school. I have a book publishing company that I'm closing this year. So I can focus on speaking. I have a travel business where I assist coaches who are looking to do international conferences and retreats in like Africa and Mexico. So I have a lot going on. So I'm still making mistakes. Every day there's a mistake that I'm making, but I'm learning from it every single day.
What's your secret to being able to push beyond your comfort zone? And that's one of the things that I admire as you try different things. You're able to kind of push beyond your comfort zone. And I know you help people, free themselves up. I think you said mentally, economically, and these emotional changes on them. But the common
Yeah.
denominator to me that I'm hearing that you do is, you know what? You have this ability when things are uncomfortable to still take action because you believe it's within your grasp, and that's a
Yeah.
skill set that develops over time. So I guess the question to you is, how do you internally allow yourself to go into areas that may be uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
you go in there and you're not afraid of it?
Yeah, I always do things when I'm afraid. I feel like whenever something feels uncomfortable and I'm nervous, that's when I feel like I really want to do it even more. I think I'm crazy like that, but I do. But for me, I have a vision that I've always had for my life since I was a very, very young girl. Just this vision of what I want my life to feel like. And I know that in order for it to feel that way, it's not about money, it's not about the material possessions. It's about how I want to feel in the inside. I feel good giving back. I feel good, being a part of an entrepreneurial community. I feel good that I'm living out my dream life. I just feel good. I have a great marriage. And so I just keep that vision at the forefront and just stay focused on the vision. And that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me sending those emails out and reaching out and collaborating and building a high value brand. I keep a hold of that vision. That's what it is for me. I never let go of the vision. And I think it
For
all
folks who say,
starts there.
how do I connect? How do I connect? Well, a two-part question. Number one, what type of clients is your company firm taking on now? Your agency taking on now? That's important because I know you don't have so much
Mhm.
capacity. And number
Mhm.
two, how can folks best connect with you?
Yeah, well, the type of clients I work with are usually entrepreneurs who have been in the game a little while, who have already kind of made a lot of mistakes, bumped their head a couple times, but they're still rocking and rolling. That shows me that they are determined, they have resiliency, and they're ready to rock this thing out. If you can still make mistakes and bump your head a couple times, but you still here in this entrepreneurial game, you are my ideal client. You are my ideal client. I deal with product-based, service-based clients. What I do is really create digital online strategic brand plans for you that you and your team, anybody you bring on board, can easily follow to make sure that your message stays consistent and of high value in your marketplace. So I can be reached. Of course, social media is a great place. Ari Squires Speaks are always on my website right here, arisquires.com. I have everything there. You can even get a free 15-minute brand exam where I can kind of go in and just do a quick overview of your brand and see where we can make some improvements or see what you're doing well and improve upon that even more. So just reach out to me. I'm always open to answer questions and just be connected with people in the entrepreneur community. Always.
I'm gonna suggest you all connect with her immediately. If there was one place that I'd put my money at, and it's what she's doing right now, is obviously in that brand because it allows it to speak for you and your team when you're not there. I mean, I'm really is. I mean, I'm not signed up for anything and saying, but I'm saying she's the right person to do that with. On this journey, there's some folks who are able to do it all alone, right? And there's other folks, and I believe the success is a team sport. You can only get so far by yourself. And so I'm wondering along this journey, I know you had many mentors in this business around, many mentors, but if there was one idea from any one of the mentors you could reach out and grasp and say, Shay, you know what? this mentor left this imprint on me, and I'm going to pass that on to those folks that are listening right now. What would that lesson be, or the mentor, if you want to mention their name, be that we can all benefit from?
Oh gosh, that's I have some great mentors. I have been blessed. I'm telling you, I have been blessed to be able to just get the mentorship. And a mentor is really somebody who pours into you, texts you, checks on you, wants to see you win, and put your name in rooms. That's a mentor, right? So one of my mentors, my most esteemed, that most people will probably know off the bat, is Stedman Graham, who is a super big business mogul. He's also the boyfriend, significant other of Oprah Winfrey. But one thing about him that he always asks me is, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for? And I think that's so important because it helps me stay connected to my brand message, to the brand value and the brand equity that I continue to put out into the world. So always ask yourself, what do you want to be known for? And then make sure that all your marketing, your sales, your pitching, your positioning, everything is in alignment with that. And then the second part of that, he also reminds me to make sure that I'm controlling what I want to be known for. So what I do, what I call it, is controlling the message, controlling the brand. So that way, when people are mentioning my name, they're all saying the same thing because I have controlled it. I have put it out there so that it's the same, it's consistent. So that's some
One
good
of the things I
advice.
think that makes you unique and different, you talk a lot about brand, and that's your message, is how you're able to really do messaging. I know that's not, you're not saying that here, but it really, really is. And so if there was a Robin to Batman, if I could say that, if there was the jelly to the peanut butter, I don't know if that's an analogy or not, but to me, it's being able to establish messages, and that's one of your, I believe, one of your superpowers. I mean, yeah, the branding is
Yeah.
what you do better than anything on the freaking planet, but it's the superpower behind it to have the messaging
Yeah.
to the brand. Take a moment, then we're coming down the home stretch, ladies and gentlemen, but you've got the one and only. You've got her here right now in this moment, and it's got to be thinking, whoa. Talk about the importance of messaging to be in alignment with the brand, because you said it about 10 times on this particular podcast, by the way. You just said it just now.
Yes.
And so I want you to talk about what is messaging, or why that's important, and how your organization helps folks with the messaging so it still stays within their purpose or their passion or what they were born to do. Because that's key.
Yeah, absolutely. Your messaging is how you connect with your audience. It's how you're connecting with the world, how you're showing the world, not just your ideal client, but the world how you solve the problem that you solve. So it's that connection. It's how people, especially when it comes to personal branding, it's really just that alignment of how you're showing up, what I see and what I hear and what I remember, which is very important. And it should all be in an alignment with what your ideal customer, your ideal client, whatever that is for you, wants in their life. What they want to see show up in their life, how they want to be better, how they want to improve themselves, whatever it is for them. It all has to be in alignment and has to be connected. And that's what a messaging is. It's a message. It's just, I'm speaking now. I'm sharing a part of myself, whether it be through my smile, whether it be through what I have on, whether it be how you can see that, oh, okay, I feel like she could help me because I do need to. I'm not connecting. What I'm saying with my audience just isn't connecting. Like, people aren't hearing. They're coming to me for the wrong stuff. They're mentioning me for the wrong things, and it's my fault as an entrepreneur that my messaging is off. So that's what I mean by message, the connection. It's the connection.
The connection is so important. Once again, tell our audience how they can connect with you, please.
Yeah, Ari Squires speaks all across the platforms. That's on Facebook. Let's see, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. I have a lot of videos on YouTube. And then if you want to send me a message, or you can DM me as well. I'll DM my DM. I love my DM. You know how they say it goes down in the DM? It really does go down in the DM. I check my own messages, of course, or arisquires.com, which is my website.
Ah, fantastic. We have a segment here called Today is My January 1st. And for those folks who tune in every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can go ahead and say those magical words. Today is my January 1st. And for those folks that are tuning in for the very first time, yeah, and welcome to the family, by the way. Today is my January 1st. It's one of our personal mantras. It represents a fresh start. Today is my January 1st, represents a do-over. It means your past. It no longer equals your future. And you don't have to wait till December 31st at 11:59 p.m. on the back of a napkin after a couple of drinks, of course, and really say, I'm ready. Let's get going. No. Today is my January 1st. So my question to Ari, as she's sitting on the other side, is when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, one, what do you hear? And number two, what are your words to encourage and inspire folks that are listening right now that when this comes to an end, which it will shortly, they've got to go out there and they've got to go execute. They got to go take action on what you've been talking about.
Ooh, when I hear you say that, it makes me excited. I love it. But I hear possibility. I hear possibility. All I see is possibility. I'm going to get that tattooed on me because all I see is possibility. And I believe that us as entrepreneurs, us as individuals, us as human beings, we have to know that anything is possible. One thing with me growing up, my mom was very empowering, very inspiring, very optimistic. And she instilled in me something that we've all heard before. You can do anything you put your mind to. And I truly believe that. And so that's why I see there's nothing that you can't do. There's no problem you can't solve. There's nothing you can't overcome. Will you need to get support sometimes? Absolutely. Will you need assistance? Probably so, but it takes you to make that decision to get the support you need. It's you that has to make that decision to take that leap of faith with the fear, because there's no such thing as no fear. You just take the fear right on with you, put it on your back, on your purse, whatever you got to do, your backpack. You take that fear right on with you because the possibilities are endless. So when I hear today is my January 1st, I hear possibility. I love that. I love that saying. Possibility.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, today is your January 1st. First, let me say thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show, being a repeat guest. She's back again. And the one thing I know is you can always make more money. I know you can do that, but you can't make more time. And so you've given us the most precious resource you have, which is your time. I want you to share once again how folks can best connect with you. Thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. You guys follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, LinkedIn. Ari Squires Speaks also has a YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I want to look for some more subscribers. But mainly, if you want to reach out to me, you can always hit me up in my DMs or email me. You can find my email on my website at arisquires.com. So please connect. I would love to hear from you.
Thank you so much. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. I want you to know, all of you that watch, you're amazing. You're incredible. Today is your January 1st, and I believe for you, your best is still yet to come because you're awesome. Your best is yet to come. Your best is still yet to come. With that being said, my name, by the way, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember this, though. Time is long. Life, on the other hand, well, it's very, very short. So you got to live in that moment. And you got to make it count. God bless me. Wish you success. Thanks a lot. We're out. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
Peace, you guys.